Good morning, good afternoon, and I don't think evening, but possibly evening. Everybody, welcome to the Supreme Southern Showdown Spectacular, awesome event, top eight, day two. I am Dan Tartaglia, also known as D Tartag1. Joining me right now is Garrett Larson and Justin Miyashiro. Got both of them joining us before we get into the top eight. And then the man on the mic, we have Mr. Chris Schoenthal here to announce the pairings for the top eight. So, Chris, the floor is yours whenever you're ready.
All right. Hello, all Star Wars players. Hope everybody's having a lovely Sunday. I have randomized the top four and bottom four, as is tradition with our top eight pairings. And I'm going to announce it live. The participants have also not heard this yet, so this will be breaking news, if you will. So, our first top eight matchup will be Sam Tashima against Hayes Hunter.
That's a good
Uh,
one.
and then we will have Dennis Reinhardt against Robbie Hendon. We'll
Okay.
have Jeff Levine against Matthew Harrison Trainer
Okay.
and Scott Lingrell against Bill Kafer. So those are our top eight matchups, and then the higher seed will pick which side they play first in the match. We'll get those rolling here very soon, and then once those matchups are finished, the top four will reseed based on yesterday's standings. So we're looking
Awesome.
forward to a great day of Star Wars cards. And thank you for having me on, and best of luck with the stream today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. You're amazing at everything you do. And
Thank you, Dan, and thank you to Garrett and Justin for jumping on the stream this weekend. I will
It's
catch you
all
guys later.
for sure,
yep,
man.
take care. Okay, so we have our top eight pairings. So, gentlemen and viewers of Star Wars CCG land, what are you thinking? Like, who do we want to have on the feature match? Um, so I personally, from my standpoint, like, I kind of, the one, obviously, the one that really screams out to me is either the Jeff Levine, the Jeff Levine, the Matt Harrison Trainer one, and the Sam Tashima Hayes Hunter one. On the flip side, if we want to see something fun and like kind of like lighthearted, Scott versus Bill is going to be fun.
It's funny because you led with the two that I was like, meh. I was thinking more the other two were the ones that I wanted
I-
to see on the stream.
Yeah,
I'll be
the
honest, knowing the decks that are in play and just the deck archetype, I want to see Dennis versus Robbie.
really
I really want to see Dennis's dark side. I want to see what he does with it because I think it's the only deck of the archetypes I'm looking at and going, I'm not sure I've seen anyone play this. I'd like to see where this goes. Like everything else we've seen, and there's gonna be some good matches, but that's the one where I'm looking at the decks and going, these are not traditionally
huh.
your top meta decks, and I'd like to see them.
So that's okay. So I see what you're saying with the Dennis one. Um, yeah, the Hayes kind of looks kind of haze. Let's see. Yeah, MHT kind of standard.
I mean, there's some interesting things in these deck archetypes overall, but yeah, I would be inclined to see. I'm curious what Dennis is doing. Like, it's possible that deck is something that's a little more typical, but it could go either way. So
Yeah, I mean, it might be a variation of something we've seen. I don't want to give away too much until it hits, but he could definitely have tried to go totally different with it. And I think
Yeah,
I'd rather see that because
I
I
mean,
think the rest of these are decks that we kind of have an idea. Like there's going to be some unique plays, there's going to be some unique stuff, as
yeah,
it looks like we're already getting
yep. So
started. So,
we
yep.
it looks like our Hall of Fame advocate decided to put us on Dennis Reinhardt versus Robbie Hendon. I have no issues with this. I think this is going to be an exciting one. It's really going to be interesting to see, like you were saying, how Dennis built his deck. It's not a deck that a lot of people are used to. We obviously see the ice planes right away.
We are getting a look at his deck as he's fanning through it, looking through his starting cards, and I mean, it certainly looks interesting. It looks like there's
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm interested. It's so just so you know, people have some of the info. Obviously, as we're seeing Dennis throw it down. Dennis is doing a Hoth Combat Readiness virtual deck. So starting the 5th marker, starting the system, and then Robbie is playing Robbie's pet deck. Robbie loves to play We Have a Plan, and it's an interesting. So that's kind of the question I wanted to see, is if this is basically SSA walkers that change their start or not, because SSA walkers usually wasn't strong enough. We need to do something about that light. Usually wasn't strong enough in space to really start the system. Like you were just giving up a drain of 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Dennis has to, yeah, there's some serious glare on Dennis's You May Start Your Landing.
Yeah, do you want to
Fortunately, we know what that one is.
would you mind grabbing
Yeah.
Chris, letting him know?
The other two, so his other two starting effects are Imperial Arrest Order combo and Imperial Decree Virtual, which I think is probably a pivot start. He's probably pivoting to that because Robbie's on WHAP. I would assume that he doesn't start Decree Virtual against everything.
And I think you're right. And that's actually, it'll be fun to see the deck. Like he might normally start Decree non-V, or there may be another card in there he's gonna.
I mean, it could be something like Wipe or like, some sort of more generic starting
Endor Shield
effects.
would be a pretty valid.
Security precautions.
Yeah,
Yep.
we have Chris Gogolin.
There it goes.
That's much better. It's a little dark, but we can deal with dark because we can still see anything.
Yeah. Well, really, we'd prefer dark to the
Dark
cards
is better
from
than
heaven.
glare. Yeah. So.
Oh, show is reminding us that although Robbie has only a dark side Naboo, show has authorized a proxy for that, so he's going to have a light side card in his deck, so that it's not no possibility of being marked or anything. And then once he deploys it, it'll be the dark side version of Naboo, because the non-virtual dark side Naboo is the same text as the light side one. So
yeah,
so in play it doesn't matter, but
they're like the old Premier systems where they just both said power +1 for each ship here.
Well, it's even more so than that, because Naboo's a 2/2 system.
Yep.
So there's really no difference between the light and dark side, just the back.
Yeah.
So
and
using opaque sleeves means you can get away with that. So not a big deal.
Yeah, and honestly, like, even though we love the guy a lot, clearly we're blaming B-Fred for this.
I mean, the fact that B-Fred didn't bring the entirety of his store to Atlanta just to cover the need of a episode 1 uncommon, really just, is he really devoted to the game?
I'm beginning to question it myself. Like you just said it, like the man clearly, like he was saying yesterday, how he doesn't want to stick around longer than Monday.
Yeah, he said a week with us nerds is enough, and that was kind of hurtful as well.
Yeah, and he wants everybody to come out to Indiana to do the next major, which is of course the Indianapolis Eclipse event.
Robbie's like, hey, I'm going to mess with the camera while my game is going on. Stop it.
Robbie, I mean, to be fair, Robbie is like going above and beyond. The guy's playing, he's handling all the streaming equipment live. Like he's been Chris's on-site computer guru.
I mean, he's Chris's tech boy, and he made day 2 while doing it. That's impressive. So it looks like he's got probably the Boss Nash's chambers in there. He's got 2 sites in there.
A docking bay, I think.
And I think he's got a 3PO.
There's a Jedi lightsaber 3PO, which he told us yesterday was an important piece of his game plan.
Well, I mean, 3PO is generally an important piece of everyone's game plan if you can keep him live. And we see Dennis
Doing all his pulls.
doing his command, and then you may start your landing for the third marker and the garrison. I did get a note from Chris that the Yoshi Sam Tashima stream that he has set up is the Bill Kafer and Scotland Grell game.
Another good
So
matchup.
that will be a fun match to see as well. So that's if you get bored of hearing us talk,
So
that's where
Robbie,
you're gonna go see Robbie grab Panaka.
with his leader pull with we'll take the long way, which suggests he open-handed the Naboo system. Which
Well,
is
and
mean
probably Amidala.
oh yeah, and he certainly open-handed Amidala in order to, if he's pulling Panaka, but
or maybe he doesn't really want to go to the Naboo system, give Dennis another system to go drain at.
Well, but you'd still take it into hand and then just throw it away.
Yeah, you'd pull it anyway, just so it's not floating around.
You don't want that 0 in your deck.
True, that's a good point.
So, and I like Dennis doing the command right away before Robbie can activate one, before you can grab it, and also, so now when he does the 5th marker exchange for the bottom card, he's got a command.
Yeah.
Right there to back up Veers when he gets that going. Like, that's a good start for Dennis, and really the way you want to play that. So yeah, Dennis getting 7 says he could go 3rd marker, Blizzard 1 Veers if he's got the Blizzard 1 and just
he is playing Veers
super aggressive.
not General Veers, right?
Yep. Yeah, he pulled Veers V with the command. So
kind of interesting.
I don't see a Blizzard. Oh, because he can play Blizzard 1.
He can flash it though.
Yeah, he can play Blizzard 1 with Veers V.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be, and he's reading his cards now, which is.
I think
maybe he's just figuring that out.
I think I would do that.
I think against WHAP, I would force them to try and come at you right away.
The other option is, if you're Dennis, why not? Like, we know what Robbie's first turn is probably going to be, throwing guys down to the courtyard, moving them in. I think you can give a little bit of time also. Like, draw some cards, get some cards in your hand, make sure you have what you want to, because I don't think if you're Dennis, you necessarily want to just give up on the throne room.
I mean, I think the tricky thing is whether or not he can give up on the throne room is going to be entirely dependent on what he has in hand. Because, like, obviously the walkers and all the walker support stuff doesn't do anything in the throne room. It just comes down to, like, did he draw an EPP mall? Did he draw a, like, did he happen to draw any of the cards that actually interact with the throne room or not?
And I don't think he did. Like, what we saw the couple times he's kind of flipped through his hand, I think I saw 2 Blizzard 4s.
And
I saw the Veers. I think I saw a trample. Like, if he could set up his hand initially, and I think he might have some cards to at least contest the throne room for a little while. Like we saw when he was flipping through, we saw a mall, we saw some other stuff. But it was what he had in hand is not gonna. You're not gonna hold the throne room, and it's gonna be an ugly.
So
it'll be a bloodbath.
Dennis pulled up the text on Veers V. I'm not sure. I wonder if he forgot the slip.
Or it could be like, yeah, that's a good point. Like, I don't see any other reason.
So it looks like he might not have Blizzard 1 in there though.
Yeah, I think he
went to pull a docking bay, and I see another Blizzard 4. There's an Emperor's Shuttle.
Some
trample.
Most of the Infiltrator. He's playing. Looks like he's playing the combo of
a couple of
Rebellion.
Yeah. A couple of Emperor shuttles. There's a Boba. Oh no, there's a Maul. Yeah. All right. So
interesting looking deck.
So I mean, it is pretty close to
feels
what.
lighter on space than I would have expected for a deck that starts a system.
I mean, it's
When you're
pretty
giving up that
close.
2 drain.
It's pretty close to what Chris was saying in the chat, that that it's close to the slip sliding away walkers that used to start with the fourth marker and the fifth marker, and then did
Yep.
all of this, and then played like you can't hide forever mob points to pull a system, and it was just like Rendili or something like that. It looks pretty similar to that.
Yeah.
However, I think the point is still the point's still relevant, that the Hoth system is worse for Darkside than Rendili or Karita. So you don't necessarily, you might want more space than you used to run to protect that drain 2 system. Whereas like you could give up Karita and it didn't really matter. Like mostly it was a battle plan thing.
Yep.
But here giving up a drain 2 system is actually pretty significant, because like you could see if he's unable to find this space set up before Robbie gets set up on the throne room, like you could see Robbie going to Naboo and Hoth, and then he's just like doing 7 damage to Dennis's like
So I
3
think
or
Dennis
4.
is deciding right now if he wants to draw to try and find Blizzard 1, or if he wants to
Just to play something else.
drop the. I'm thinking you just drop Blizzard 4.
I feel like, yeah,
whether you pull a guy or not, like I think you drop Blizzard 4 and put Robbie on a he's got to respond or he's eating 3 next turn.
well, Robbie hasn't pulled Goldenrod, so.
And he might not be worried about it. Like if Dennis wants a free Imperial at Hoth, fine, have one.
Yeah.
Like an Imperial by itself is probably not doing that much. Like Robbie's at some point going to have to go through them.
Oh, okay.
I think with the trample in hand, he might be trying to go for the you only live once, take a hard shot at it and squish Amidala the moment she comes down.
Yeah, but I mean, I assume Robbie's just going to do the play that I've seen many WAP players do, where they just like play a Jedi, move in, and then you just deploy Amidala to the throne room on turn 2, and you don't have to. You never expose Amidala to the walker. Now, I mean, he's still, giving up a drain or 2 at his own site there for a bit, but
yeah, it's not.
Robbie may also have a trample answer, although I don't see one in hand. So, is it the angle's a little tough? I can't quite tell, but I did see an Amidala in there. So.
Did he? No.
Yeah.
He didn't stack his hand on his force on his.
Oh, okay.
Use pile by accident, did he?
No, he's still got his hand in.
Okay, there it is. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I will go ahead and swap over to the Bill and Lingirl stream. They're on Yoshi's.
Yeah, they're on Yoshi's.
All right, give me a second to get my Streamlabs set up, but I'll drop out of this call and then I'll be over there.
Thanks, Dustin.
Moving Vader in there isn't interesting.
No, I mean that's kind of smart because you know that Robbie's going to have to move in.
Yeah, but if he's not going for the squish, then forcing Robbie to come in is the play. I think we're seeing, Dennis has familiarity with how to play against WHAP. And that's kind of an underrated part of playing the game, is not just, how to play your deck, but what your opponent's deck wants to do and how to play against that when you're doing it. So Robbie's going,
he's now shifting gears, and I kind of like this.
Yeah, I don't hate it at all. It's definitely everybody's switching what they're doing because I think he doesn't have a good spot to like move Amidala in and then just risk getting her choked. So what is he searching for right now? Something. A lot of red cards in there right now.
Sticking in. Looks like he's going to take Admiral
The
Lauren.
Yularen, yep. Off of what's his third effect there? It's Walkling, isn't it? He's Walkling Jedi Biz.
No. So he's got
Did
Jedi
he
business.
leadership or something?
We'll take the long way.
Yeah. Right. Honestly, I think both players are playing this in a real interesting fashion, Jared. I'm enjoying right from the start. I know I've joked about it in the past that I much prefer watching the games go on without really knowing the decks beyond like basic archetype because I like being surprised. I think it's a more fun, kind of organic response to things as we see a Brian Harold walking behind Robbie's shoulder there, but it's definitely a different way to do it.
Robbie just looking at the camera behind him. I like it.
I think he's yelling at someone else. Probably yelling at Brian Harold or Show or somebody. As Dennis went and got Ozzel, which sort of screams that he might be going after the ship, or at least threatens that he is.
Yeah.
Although I didn't see any ships in his hand and he didn't draw. Like, I don't think he's
And
going to be
that's why
able
I'm
to.
saying,
I
like,
think he's going to have to go Veers. Hope he didn't shuffle Blizzard 1 up again and then take it and roll. What am I? Wasn't supposed to be virtual, maybe? Or I don't know what I just missed there.
oh, sure.
They did something. All right, well, let's see where this goes on one, two.
Definitely curious. And Robbie's going really light. No backup onto the ship. So that just screams to me that he's got like some sort of evasion, like a barrier or something.
Yeah. That was my thought, was that screams barrier. And it was I can't go to ground. I don't want to pick everything up. I need to start pushing damage as well. Because that's the other side of it, is right now, if Dennis wants to do any damage, he's paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can't pay to go after Robbie as easily. So there we see the 3 to drain for 2, I'm sure. And Robbie's just peeling off the top, and Odin Nestler and Qui-Gon, maybe? Or maybe Kit.
It's the
Yeah.
AI
Hologram Kit.
holographic one. Yeah. So, ooh, that's a good card.
Ooh, Sari's a nice card, although he doesn't really have blasters, so that's going to be a...
Well, he's got Jedi business that gets some lightsabers.
Yeah. No, it's more, it won't be, he's not going to blow up a walker. He doesn't have to worry
No.
about like Leia with gun. Leia and her gun, and Dennis losing a walker immediately. So, all right. So now Dennis is doing the flash veers. There's Blizzard 1. I assume they're going to go to the 3rd marker.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
I actually expect you'll see Ozzel as a co-pilot just in case. Like, the last thing you want to do is run the risk of Robbie dropping a Jedi, drawing high enough, and just killing Veers and the walker right away.
Yeah.
So you put Ozzel on there as a co-pilot. Now you got like 10 forfeit up there. The walker stays alive and gives you the chance at the rebeat. Plus, that walker's kind of scary strong. You get a Destiny to power with Veers. You get a Battle Destiny. You get a 2nd Battle Destiny with Command if he's got it. And it's immune to, I think, less than 4.
I think it is just yeah, it's just immune to less than 4, which
Because General Veers adds 2 to the immunity.
Yep.
But he doesn't draw the Power Destiny.
Yeah, but he gives you 2 battle destinies if unable to otherwise. So I feel like both of them are good in their own right. Like this Veers really is good for the new Walker objective that came out in set 22, whereas General Veers is just an all-around solid card. But then again,
This Veers is also free, which is a huge plus.
True. That's a good point.
Like in a deck that's a little bit force starved, which Walker's always kind of felt like it was, having a free, having that free general is a big plus.
Okay, so yep, there's also going down with Veers. So this is going to be interesting to see what Robbie does. Like we were saying, the fact that he's got the sabers, he's got the sorry about the mess combo, he can really mess with that lone Vader.
Yeah, honestly, he can mess with Blizzard 4 too. Like Blizzard 4's got no immunity.
Mm-hmm.
I could absolutely see Robbie just saying, "All right, I'm gonna come down with with the Jedi, battle Blizzard 4, kill it, move in, and say let's go." Like that's kind of why I didn't love leaving Blizzard 4 alone like that, especially if you're not going to pay for the drain with Vader. Is like you're just giving up that drain the moment Robbie drops anything. So the question is Robbie going to pay to drain or not? Because he's also not activating a ton. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 1 for his objective is 13. So he's only got 13 or 14 to work with here.
Yep. I mean, well, yeah. That's still not terrible. Like,
I mean, that's a Jedi plus stuff. Like, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like Walkers where everything feels expensive. He's running into the same boat. Everything feels expensive.
But I mean, like you come down with General Kenobi, that's not terrible against Choke Vader. You come down with like Qui-Gon, Serene Jedi, again, not terrible against Choke Vader.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's got its merits. I mean, he's probably okay, but at the same time, you're not just coming down against Choke Vader because you're walking into that, and now you give Dennis a turn to follow up with
and that's the issue.
anything in his hand. And I don't think Dennis still hasn't drawn a lot of cards. Like you can probably still follow up with almost anything.
Yeah.
But I don't think Robbie knows that Dennis's hand was really not great. And I think Dennis is having to pivot off of Veers on turn 1. I think he did it well, but it was definitely I got to change what I'm doing.
Looks like he's putting the Walker Garrison back to the bottom of his deck.
Yep, to get that command so he knows he's got it, and Robbie knows he's got it. And there went an Applek off the top. That's
in a Blizzard 4, like
the Blizzard 4 is kind of secondary. I think he's got 3 in the deck.
Yeah.
So they're really just a speed. It's the best Walker to drop by itself. It can get you Vader or somebody if you need it, and it's high power, it's ability 4. All right, so we see R2 and Yularen. That's a ship combo I didn't expect to see normally. Now, I'm curious if that's virtual R2 or if that's non-V for the activation and drawing.
I think it's non-V. Like Robbie actually talked a little bit about this yesterday.
I kind of like that.
Like his entire deck was built around activation, getting card advantage. Like that's why he was running the card Yane or Sache or one of the
handmaidens.
One of the handmaidens, where she gives you the activation. She allows you to swap the.
So we see Unita to go get Kit.
I like this.
I'm perfectly okay with this play. Now, are we going to get him a saber as well?
And that's what I'm saying. Like you get him a saber, you move him in, you just say, "Hi, Mr. Vader. I'm an ability 7 character. You can't choke me,
Yeah, no,
and I have a saber."
did he? No, he didn't miss the
Oh,
saber.
he missed. No, he got the
No,
saber. This
he,
is the first heart. He was just checking out
yeah.
what's in his deck.
Because I thought there might be one deeper in there too. And I was like, he went by it real quick. So,
Yeah, and it's a white border saber, so it's sticks out even more.
yeah. And that might be the intent is, I
And
try and
the
do that
other thing
sometimes
is,
is stick out the cards I know I'm going to want to pull.
and here's the other fun part.
I don't love
Uh,
that pancake.
I don't like that either.
Like you're just gonna potentially lose him to that battle. Like, because I don't think
Well,
he's got any immunity, does he? Or no, he
no,
does. He's
he
immune.
does
Isn't
have immunity.